The internet's completely changed my life. I think there's no other way to put it.
We live, in my opinion, in the greatest time in human history.
If someone would have told me 5 years ago that I'd be a multi-millionaire, living my life with my wife and my kids, doing whatever I wanted, I never would have believed them.
I hated everything I ever did until I started internet marketing. Never saw it as being my future career path. I never envisioned any of this stuff. I was going to go be a stockbroker.
I was a dead broke carpet cleaner living off credit cards.
And then I rigged up an internet connection to the side of a tree.
And I started a blog with a friend of mine as a joke called Stuff White People Like.
And so in the first year, I did about $100,000 in sales.
There's never been a year since I graduated from college that I didn't make 6 figures.
I made $800,000 my first year online from my apartment.
Pretty soon I had 15, 20,000 people. And people are starting to call me, want to know if I want to write a book.
In 6 months, I went from a copywriter to literally living my dream.
I think we all come from a mold of either desperation or wanting more.
I became an entrepreneur because basically, you know, I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
I love my life. I get up in the morning every single day with a smile on my face, and I do whatever the hell I want.
I wear shorts to the office almost every day, flip-flops.
My commute is 18 feet. If I take the long way around the couch,
living on your terms, defining how your day looks, defining what your dress code is.
It's freedom. Ultimately, it's freedom.
For me, it's the ideal lifestyle. It's exactly what I wanted.
I don't know where I would be without the internet.
I mean, I really look at it as just this amazing golden opportunity.
It's the ultimate form of turning ideas into reality.
I'm living my dream right now. I get to invent stuff.
We get to do real live alchemy. We get to take something that's nothing and turn it into gold.
There's nobody that wants it more than me and is willing to work harder. I know that with every piece of my soul.
And I made it. Like, I did what I wanted to do.
It's about making more money, having more fun in your life, and giving more back.
And that's why I would never trade internet marketing for any other business, and I've been in a lot of them.
Oh man, I was a kid who did horrible in school, total ADD, couldn't pay attention to anything the teacher was talking about. All I wanted to do was go out and catch snakes and ride BMX bikes, and when the teacher was talking, that's all I could think about. So I got horrible grades. In my early teens, the whole obsession with snakes and BMX bikes turned over to heavy metal and drugs. So at age 18, I started selling weed, and I really liked it because it gave me a lot of freedom, and it gave me all the weed I wanted, and gave me a lot of money. Did that lifestyle for a few years, kept growing and growing and having lots of dealers under me, and was shipping it all over the country in increasing quantities. But when you do that, you know, it's against the law, and my values were a little bit different back then, so I didn't really think at the time I was doing anything wrong, but the government did. So by age 24 or 25, you know, they came in, a whole team, and they, you know, busted my house and threw me down on the ground with guns in my head, and did a little bit of time. When I got out, I got really hooked on Vicodin and painkillers. Ended up miserable, suicidal, in and out of jail, pretty much homeless. And it was just really a dark time, and I wanted to change. So when I was 30 years old, this is about 10 years ago, I decided I'm just gonna change my whole life. I've got to stop doing the drugs, so I quit doing all the drugs and quit making the bad decisions. I was 30 years old, moved in with my mom. And when I was about 32 or 33, I started a personal training business. I blew that business up pretty quick, and within a short period of time, I got really good at getting clients from the internet. And I learned how to get so many clients from the internet, and business kind of automated itself to where I didn't have to work at all, and here's a six-figure business bringing in clients left and right where I don't have to work at all, and the internet does the whole thing. So I got into information marketing and just kept coming out with one information product after another. Here it is, you know, I think we're up around 15 information products, and absolutely love it. And it's just the lifestyle and the freedom and being able to help people all over the world, working when I want, where I want, the lifestyle it's given me, the freedom my family has. My family doesn't have to worry about money. You know, money doesn't make you happy, but it can fix the problem of not having any money, and that's a big problem to have fixed. My life today is so much easier working part-time and making a really good income than it was when I had to work long hours and not make a lot of money. And internet marketing has allowed me to do that. It's been a vehicle for freedom for myself and my family, and I just absolutely love internet marketing.
We're such a unique place right now in history.
I mean, we live, in my opinion, in the greatest time in human history.
The internet is 14 years old or 15 years old as we know it. Like when AOL started sending those discs in the mail and you plopped them in, the first time you heard that crap, that's only 14 years ago.
The internet to me is the greatest thing ever.
The internet means to me complete freedom.
I don't know where I would be without the internet. It has truly changed my life. It has given me a path when one otherwise did not exist.
And I personally think I owe most of my success to what I've been able to do online.
Well, for me personally, it meant freedom.
Freedom.
It's freedom. Ultimately, it's freedom.
I get to design my day, and it doesn't have to be designed according to what somebody else says.
It means just insane possibilities. I've had the chance to travel the world. I've had the chance to make more money in a day than most people make in a lifetime.
We get to take something that's nothing and turn it into gold. We get to create money out of thin air.
What's so profound about the internet, especially when it comes to business, is the leverage and the immediate scale that it makes possible.
It's true one-on-one and being able to communicate with the entire connected planet.
The internet is a level playing field. It's the opportunity to come in areas that corporations have overlooked and completely and utterly dominate.
You can just be some kid in your basement, and the next day you can put up a website and compete with these multinational conglomerates.
You don't have to have office buildings or overhead or equipment or inventory.
It's a lot cheaper to get started, there's a lot less risk, there's no overhead.
All those traditional expenses that would go in, the internet has leveled the playing field so much.
People can literally run their business from a cell phone, a laptop, and that's it.
This platform is here and it's taking no prisoners. It's the place commerce will be done, period. End of story. It's 14 friggin' years old. This platform is the game changer.
I was just a foreign kid in Armenia. Back then, Armenia was actually under communist Soviet rule, and my dad, believe it or not, was part of the Communist Party. But it was probably around the late 70s, like 78, 79, that he decided that, you know what, communism isn't for us, I don't want to be part of the Communist Party. And in 1980, we defected to America. And it was me, my mom, my dad, my older brother and sister. And I'm the youngest, I was 6 years old at the time. We get here and all of a sudden I realize I'm the foreign kid, I don't know English. They put me in the kindergarten and I'm a year older than everybody else. I've got the bowl haircut, I've got the funny shorts, I've got the funny clothes. So anyway, you fast forward a few years, I ended up being the chunky, overweight Armenian kid, which really didn't help me get much, any dates throughout junior high or high school for that matter. So I started working out at the beginning of senior year, and I figured if I work out, you know what, girls are gonna find me cute and attractive, I'm gonna go to prom. Well, the good news is I got in better shape. The bad news is I never made it to prom. No chick found me attractive apparently. But in that time, by working out, as I graduate high school, I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna do something with fitness. And decided I want to help others get in shape. So, you know what? I'll go into personal training. At this point, I'd already gone through like several different jobs. So back when I was a fry cook at Disneyland, right? I had this glamorous job at Disneyland, and I'm like working in the back of the restaurant, dude. And it's summertime. It's the busiest time of the season. The restaurant's bursting at the seams, and I'm cooking up food along with all the other fry cooks. And all of a sudden, I feel this pen pressed up against my face. And I look to see who it is, and it's my manager, Kathy, right? And she's like, hey, your sideburns are way past your earlobe, and we're gonna dock your pay. You need to go up to the locker rooms, shave those up, and then come back and work. And at that very moment, that's when I knew that I was not meant to have a job. I was not meant to be managed. It was like a big aha moment. I did not want to work for the man. And so I've got to have my own gig. So I started taking the personal training business, which at the time was like a real side job, more serious, and decided I'm gonna sell supplements on the internet. So I would order a ton of supplements. I'd stack it up in my apartment, and here's what I didn't figure out about that. If there was no search engine optimization, there was no pay-per-click back then, there was none of that, and if there was, no one told me. And so I would just search people who are in weightlifting and send them an email, hey, you want to buy supplements? Well, these supplements, I could never sell them fast enough, and they have expiration dates, as you know. So I ended up throwing more stuff away into the dumpster than actually selling. So you do that long enough and you start using your rent money to replenish your stock to sell, and before you know it, you're kicked out of your apartment. So I'm homeless for a small period of time, and I'm living out of a '79 Toyota pickup. That was my first failed internet business, which is cool, which is fine. So, you know, started with my personal training business, and lo and behold, one client that I got gave me this tape from Tom Hopkins, and it was like the sales tape. And he goes, hey, you need to listen to the sales tape and become a better marketer, a better salesperson. All right, fair enough. So I listened to that. All of a sudden, I'm starting to learn about persuasion and marketing and positioning and finding a niche. And before you know it, I've got several personal training facilities, right? And before I know it, trainers are contacting me and asking me, hey man, how do you have multiple personal training facilities? How's it that you're marketing? How's it that you're selling? How do you negotiate rent? And I realized that people are out there searching for information. And so that's kind of where I got into the whole information marketing world. I kind of stumbled into it. And as soon as I had a list of a couple hundred trainers, I saw that my income could become predictable. Today, it really is something that has completely changed my life. And for me, the biggest thing is for us to be able to do what we want, when we want, as often as we want, and to never see my kids inside of a daycare. That's the biggest thing for me. As long as I never see my kids inside of a daycare, I know I've achieved my ultimate dream, which is that freedom.
Dude, I remember sitting down like a year and a half ago, and you came up with the idea, hey, let's make a documentary about internet marketing. And I knew at that moment it was something that we had to do. And here it is, a year and a half later. And I mean, I'm changed as a person because of it.
You know, it's pretty weird that all this has come to fruition when you think about where we started at that restaurant, right? And I was just thinking the other day, like, just imagine if you could sit there across from one of the top internet marketers and get into their head and ask them the most compelling, pressing questions that would help your business. Well, that's what we did. We went and we sought out for the last year and a half the top internet marketers in the world.
I was just totally blown away. I just thought it was the most brilliant thing that we can actually go in and get a peek at their lives and to learn from them and the mistakes they've made and the secrets they've discovered and what their mindset is and the lifestyle they have today and how you can have a lifestyle just like that if you want.
Anyone would probably pay thousands of bucks, right? And spend a lifetime to learn this kind of stuff. And here it is, like the top internet marketers just laying it out step by step for everyone.
Do I live the internet lifestyle? Man, I don't even know what the internet lifestyle is.
Absolutely, I live the internet lifestyle, whatever that is.
Every day I wake up and I get to do what I want because I want to do it and because I've chosen to do it.
Typical day, you know, there isn't a typical day.
A typical day looks like a non-typical day.
It could be dune bugging across Mexico.
2 weeks ago, I was in Necker Island for 5 days with Sir Richard Branson.
A regular day could be getting on a plane to go to Australia for a writers' festival, or getting on a plane to go to Colorado, or doing a book tour stop.
Running with the Bulls in Pamplona, bungee jumping.
If you have a typical day, that sucks.
When I get up in the morning, I get up whenever the hell I want.
The internet lifestyle is working here, in my home, in my bare feet if I want to, ponytail if I want to, or on the beach if I want to.
I sit on my stoop, I watch the sunrise.
Every day is just a great day. I have an awesome view of the ocean.
And with any luck, the waves are good and I'll get out in the water and I'll surf.
Do I still work hard? Absolutely.
This mythical internet lifestyle, you know, is perceived as, oh yeah, you know, you get up, you do nothing, money comes in and it's fantastic, which that happens. But if you do that for more than a couple months, the internet lifestyle is over.
When I was the CEO of Stompernet, you know, I'd put in 60, 70-hour weeks.
Some people say working for the weekends, I work for Monday.
There are times where we're working 80, 100 hours a week, and I'm loving it.
I work a lot, and I like it. you know, and when I'm not working, I'm not happy. I can go a couple hours not working, but then something's amiss.
I definitely did put in my time so I can enjoy the lifestyle that I have now.
Literally, I may work like 6-7 hours a week.
I used to go weeks without working at all. I wouldn't even show up in my office. I'd had to come in and make sure that my office equipment still hadn't been stolen.
The biggest thing to me is being able to live just however the hell I want to.
I've definitely carved out exactly what I want. You know, my favorite things in life, you know, my business, my wrestling, my family, my church.
I'm living my dream right now. I get to invent stuff. I only spend time with people I love.
And I don't have to worry about making the rent.
And I could not recommend this business more to anyone else.
Yeah, this internet marketing lifestyle is pretty killer, man. I mean, it's one of the things that attracted me was actually the lifestyle that it allows you to lead. There's not very many things you can get into that allow you to do that. And one guy who really embodies the internet lifestyle is Yannick Silver. I remember getting some of his DVDs a few years ago and seeing him up on stage, just up there busting people's balls, picking on people, having fun, telling stories. And I'm like, man, I got to do what that dude does.
Yannick Silver is great at partying.
Yannick Silver, the maverick internet millionaire who just makes money at home in his sandals and hanging out at the beach.
Every time I see him, he has his flip-flop and his toes showing.
Yannick Silver wears green Speedos.
He's a good business thinker. He's just fun. He's energetic. He's enthusiastic.
Yannick Silver was the first guru I ever bought anything from online.
He was one of the first guys that I studied.
In fact, his product is one of the first products I ever bought, and it was how to make money on the internet in 30 days, and I'll be damned if it worked.
I really love how he mixes great knowledge, lots of adventure and philanthropy into his vision.
Yannick Silver is the epitome of giving.
He puts his money where his mouth is.
He donates his percentage of his money to charity each and every month.
Yannick Silver's a killer dude, hardworking, smart.
Very sharp guy, really good rags to riches story.
And he's got this maverick travel adventures. It's killer. I belong to it.
Yannick likes to have a good time, so he puts together trips, and I like going on them, and I don't have to plan them.
Yannick and I jumped out of an airplane at 30,000 feet.
I'm scared of heights, Yannick. Yannick, I'm scared of heights.
So we go to Iceland, we go to Baja, we go to Vegas and do air-to-air combat and zero-gravity flights. Yannick's a good guy to hang around with.
I'm a son of a Russian immigrant. My family came over here in 1976, actually, and came over when I was 2.5. And I think that, you know, it's a typical immigrant success story, $256 in my dad's pocket for me, my mom, my grandmother. The history of internet marketing from my standpoint is I got in late '99, and I literally posed a question to myself, and I said, what can I create that'd be a fully automatic website, makes me money while I sleep, is an incredible value to people? And literally 3 o'clock in the morning, I had this idea for a product called Instant Sales Letters. And it's just little downloadable fill-in-the-blank templates, and since then it's gone on to be my first $1 million product at 40 bucks a pop. I have this philosophy of, I call it a maverick philosophy, and it's about making more money, having more fun in your life, and giving more back. And I think when you put them all together, it just creates this entire balance for you. So I think it's people that resonate with that. They resonate with the idea of the internet lifestyle, that you can work at home, that you can have your kids running around like crazy, and really, you know, set and dictate your terms on your life. And if you want to build an empire, you can. If you want to just do it part-time, you can.
When I was homeless, I ended up actually getting a small shack for $100 a month. And that shack had no plumbing or anything. I built an outhouse outside. Luckily, we had electricity. And then I rigged up an internet connection to the side of a tree. And I have pictures, I'll give them to you. And I instantly got onto Craigslist, got a computer, had no idea what I was going to do, but I was like, hey, there's a whole world of people to sell stuff to. So I got onto Craigslist, but I had hardly no money. So I went in the free section, people were giving away free futons. So I also looked in the wanted section, people said, hey, I want a futon. So I would literally drive across town, pick up a free futon, and go and resell it for 40 or 50 bucks. Now, it's not a lot of money nowadays, but when you don't have anything, you know, $40, $50 score for an hour was huge, and that really just started getting my wheels turning of what you could do if you're really a hustler online.
So like I said, when I was growing up, I did really bad in school because I had like this crazy ADD, but come to find out, I'm in pretty good company because most internet marketers do too.
All right, so most internet marketers are kind of like totally ADHD,
ADD.
Yes, I believe most internet marketers have ADD.
I was diagnosed with ADD when I was real young.
They're completely crazy ideas all the time.
I think in order to be really, really successful in this business, either you're ADD oriented, but you've known how to harness that creative energy.
If you got ADD, cherish it, baby.
I think that many, many people who are creative and many, many, many online entrepreneurs absolutely have those traits. It's something that we kind of all have in common.
They're all over the place. And because of that, you'll see massive greatness and massive failure. More volatility in this type of an arena than about any other arena.
There's no other industry in the world where I've met so many cool characters who've been my best friends and at the same time are so incredibly brilliant with the combination of being completely screwed up.
But in the internet marketing business, it seems like there's so many cool people in this business.
I have friends who are like super stoners who do really well online, and then I got friends who are just a super crazy analytical stats type who do really well online.
A lot of these guys dropped out of college.
I was a rotten student.
I'm a college dropout and a proud college dropout.
And not because I wasn't bright.
I got 1 year pre-med and I stopped that and decided to be an entrepreneur.
Like some people understand how to play school to get good grades at a minimal effort. I never figured that game out. But I figured out how to make more money than my teachers very quickly.
Dude, I don't know if ignorance is bliss or what, but I never doubted that I'd be a good internet marketer. I just always assumed I was going to do it.
So what if someone wants to know if they have what it takes?
The people that I know that make the most money online are the people that are entrepreneurial.
They can create their own income. They can manage their own destiny.
I think most internet marketers are fiercely independent. I think we all come from a mold of either desperation or wanting more.
I would look at things like, well, what'd you do during your summers? You know, what did you do during your spring breaks? Are you the kind of person that always kind of wanted to have your own business and do your own thing?
16 years old, my dad tells me, he's like, Mr. Yelnick, go make some sales.
Nobody taught me to, you know, have a lemonade stand and sell baseball cards.
I was one of those guys that just always wanted to have my own business.
I would never want to be a professional athlete. I would much rather own the team.
Entrepreneurs aren't necessarily built differently than you. They certainly are not smarter.
I have really systematically murdered about 90% of my brain cells in the early 1990s, and I can do it. So I think anyone could do it.
But what they've learned to do is move. They've learned to be proactive, to lay out their goals and dreams and kind of figure out how might I make this work.
Entrepreneurs have egos.
I swear at 15 years old, and 15's already old, you're not 7, okay? We're talking about sophomore year of high school. I legitimately thought I was the smartest and best looking person in the world. Flat out. Flat the fuck out. That competitive streak that, you know, my family was given, DNA-wise, is a major differentiator between me and a lot of people. Because I want to beat everybody.
You know, it's pretty funny, man, that like none of us went to school to become an internet marketer. We all just kind of fell into it after being totally dissatisfied with what we were doing.
Yeah.
Andy Jenkins could make a video about brushing your teeth, and he would put so much magic on it that it would seem like it was the most glamorous and exciting thing you could possibly do.
Before internet marketing, I worked in the radio, television, and film industry. And I was an assistant director actually on a film shoot, a feature film that went on to be released onto DVD. And it was a, you know, B-movie slasher film with really attractive half-naked teenagers running around. And while I was on set, the art director brought out this huge sword, which was going to be used to chop off one of the half-naked, you know, co-eds' heads as one of the scenes. I mean, this was not exactly high art. And I've always been a big fan of like medieval technology and stuff. I've actually got a minor in medieval studies. Go figure. The bottom line is, I thought it was very cool, and I said, where'd you get that thing? And he said, I got this from a prop supply store. So I went and asked if that prop supply store had any more of these things, because I wanted one for myself, and they actually took me into the back room and said, yeah, here. And they motioned, and there was literally hundreds of swords and suits of armor and shields and helmets, because they had just got done propping out a Discovery Channel show about the Roman Empire. So they had all these things sitting in stock. They didn't know what to do with them. So I said, I'm going to try to sell these things for you on consignment. So I started up this little $50 a month Yahoo store, and I would put pictures of these swords online and say, hey, you got this in stock, right? I mean, totally by the seat of my pants. and started to sell through them. And so in the first year, I did about $100,000 in sales. And as I realized that I was going to sell these prop houses out, I started to do some investigation, and lo and behold, you'd never think you could find it. I found a drop shipper, a company that would import swords from India and manufacture wrought iron goods, and they were willing to ship directly to my customer. So I thought, you know what? This is pretty cool. I wonder if there's a big market for this. And over the years, these little e-commerce stores, once I learned how to rank really well in the search engines, have done millions of dollars in sales to geeks that want to own swords for some strange reason. I mean, if that's not the best thing ever.
So something that I found that was really interesting about internet marketers is that like none of us have been doing this very long.
Most internet marketers you'll talk to had a job in the real world between 2 and 4 years ago.
Boy, what didn't I do before internet marketing? I did a lot of things.
So I was a pot dealer, a full-time drug addict, became a personal trainer, became an internet marketer.
I failed at a lot of things before this.
I was a stockbroker at the time.
I was actually a private eye.
I was a manager at a car lot.
I was an explosives engineer for 5 years.
They'll tell you that they were doing anything from selling, you know, Electrolux vacuum cleaners.
Before I became an internet marketer, I did everything from sell washers and dryers at Sears.
I was a dead broke carpet cleaner living off credit cards.
I was a door-to-door credit card machine salesman.
I've had probably 20 or 30 jobs.
I was a fry cook at Disneyland. I was a bouncer at a gay bar. I was a personal trainer turned internet marketer.
Never had a job more than like 6 months.
And suddenly they find themselves, you know, doing marketing online.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there wondering what this whole internet marketing thing is, so I figured we should show them the 30,000-foot view.
Good idea.
Internet marketing is just kind of a vague word. I mean, it's so wide open. You can sell a billion different things on the internet.
Internet marketing is really just the vehicle by which we spread out our ideas.
A lot of people think because it's technology, there's something different than regular marketing. I mean, my favorite definition of marketing is quickest path to the sale. And so there's all kinds of ways that you can distribute a message. And when you're selling something, there's 3 things you need in order to sell something. You need a product or service, you need a sales pitch or a marketing message, and you need a delivery system. So the internet is just a delivery system. The Yellow Pages is a delivery system. Face-to-face selling, telemarketing, TV, radio, billboards. The Goodyear blimp is a delivery system. So think of the internet as an electronic brochure. It's a communication device.
So you remember Joe Polish?
Right.
He was a carpet cleaner who got so good at marketing his own carpet cleaning business that today he's one of the top guys in the world that help other people with their marketing.
Joe Polish is an amazing person.
One of the smartest marketers on the planet.
Joe Polish is brilliant, man. That guy.
Joe Polish, networker.
Joe Polish is probably the best networking person on the planet.
I mean, he's kind of a rags to riches. He started off as a carpet cleaner.
Talk about niches, carpet cleaners. Who would have thought you could make that kind of money teaching carpet cleaners how to kill it online?
Joe Polish is neurotic.
Joe Polish has a lot of phobias.
A great person to be around because he's fun.
He's really good with motivating people, with understanding where people are coming from.
He's one of those guys that really cares about people.
He's probably one of the top 5 marketing minds I've ever met, and I've learned a lot from him.
The way that I got into marketing was I was a dead broke carpet cleaner living off credit cards, and I was a good cleaner. I just simply didn't know how to get enough business, and so marketing taught me how to put a compelling message out to the marketplace in order to convince people why they should do business with my company. So getting into direct response marketing was purely a necessity for survival, not because I ever thought I'd be a quote-unquote marketing guru one day. When I first started, I first learned how to take this small, struggling carpet cleaning business and transform it in a 6-month period. I went from $2,000 a month gross to over $12,000 a month, not by becoming a better carpet cleaner, not by getting better equipment, simply by learning how to put a message out to the marketplace. And I ended up sharing some of my marketing methods with other carpet cleaners, and lo and behold, they actually worked. They worked the same way they worked in Arizona, in other cities, small towns, big towns, it didn't matter. And all of a sudden I thought, how do I actually take these methodologies, these referral programs, these irresistible offers, these ads to get people to hire a cleaning service, and how do I can and clone myself and put it out to the marketplace, and that's pretty much what I did. And now we've got over 6,000 carpet cleaning companies throughout the world that have used my services and that are members of my company, Piranha Marketing. But I also have thousands and thousands of service businesses in all kinds of different industries that use my strategies.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people really know the terminology here. So before we go on deeper into internet marketing, we should explain what direct response marketing is, affiliate marketing, and SEO.
Yes.
We are wired to be natural affiliate marketers. We see a good movie, we eat at a good restaurant or a bad restaurant, and our instinct is to tell other people.
Affiliate marketing is basically when you take someone else's product and you promote it and you get a commission.
Let's say I'm selling a product, and if you link to my sales page and someone buys it, then I give you a cut. Usually it's about 50%.
An affiliate means you're selling somebody else's product for a sales commission, just like a stockbroker or a car salesman gets paid to sell a product and then the firm pays them for it, a sales commission. The same thing happens online. You can actually sell somebody else's product and they'll pay you a commission just like a regular salesperson.
And when you can have a whole army of commissioned salespeople working to promote your product and send you customers on a referral basis, and you don't have to pay them unless they've made a sale, that's the holy grail.
Direct response is a religion.
Direct response, from my perspective, is simply asking for someone to take action when they arrive at a certain offer.
Direct response is advertising that you're not guessing.
I put an offer out there on the internet and I say, buy my stuff, and somebody says, okay, and they buy my stuff.
The most profitable one-off promotions I've ever had are direct mail.
The whole idea is being able to present a message to some kind of a market that matches their desires, their needs, their psychological profile, so you want to buy it.
Instead of being at the Super Bowl and paying $1 million for an ad and hoping that it helped brand you, or you hope that you have a client in the future.
You're working with your customer. They're right there. They're responding to you. You don't get that with television or newspaper or radio advertising. You get to see what they do. And I think that's what makes direct response so powerful on the internet.
It is the only way I've seen proven to dependably and accurately and consistently and measurably turn $1 into 10 into $1 million.
SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it is the practice of trying to get your page to rank #1 in Google for a specific term. So if you're selling blue widgets, you want to rank #1 in Google for blue widgets, because guess what? 43% of the traffic that comes through Google ends up clicking on that #1 ranking inside of Google. If you're not #1, you're probably not going to be in the market very long.
So you remember the guy who was like a total freaking ninja at search engine optimization and affiliate marketing?
Right, Jeff Johnson.
Yeah, it was weird how like easy he made this stuff look.
While you may know him as Jeff Johnson, I know him as the Silver Fox.
My wife looks at me, she's like, wow, is he a good-looking guy? And I'm like, okay, just watch it there, girl.
Jeff Johnson, the SEO super nerd that knows how to manipulate Google and do all sorts of crazy stuff with it.
He was really the first person who made big money online without utilizing quote-unquote direct response principles.
Incredibly brilliant at search engine marketing and affiliate marketing and all the things that he does.
I would call Jeff Johnson the Bill Gates of internet marketing.
Absolutely brilliant.
Jeff Johnson talks really, really fast.
When we try to talk about business, I have no clue.
Whenever I get off the phone with Jeff, I have to have a mind map open when I talk to him.
The people who can speak Johnsonese, his clients and his students and customers, do really, really well.
He's dense, but in a good way.
I was a stockbroker at the time, and somebody came into the office and said, we want to raise $25 million for an internet website. And I said, okay, let me take a look at it. I looked at this website and I said, this can't be the right way to make money online. I mean, I knew what the internet was. I'd surfed it. I was paying for a modem every week. So I knew what it was, but when this guy walked to my office, he handed me his business plan. There was no business plan, and he had 1 million visitors a month, and they weren't making any money after 7 years. And I said, that can't possibly be right, because I was involved in direct marketing back in the stockbroker's business. So I hopped on a plane, I flew out to an internet conference, I just searched on the internet, found a conference that was going on in Dallas that weekend, hopped on a plane, flew out there, met a bunch of really cool people that were doing extremely well, and they seemed like they were having a great time. And that's basically how I got involved. At that point, I went back to work and said, you know, I think I want to do this full time. And I did it.
Yeah, I'd say he did it. And he continues to kill it online. And I think we definitely need to talk more about his secrets that he's doing online.
And you know what we should probably get into, which is a question that I know is on a lot of people's mind, is just how much money can you actually make on the internet?
Yeah.
You know, I've seen people make a variety of different incomes by being an online marketer.
For example, one of our newest faculty members at Stompernet is 15 years old, and he does 10 figures a month in affiliate marketing with no cost, working from home after school, and you know, he's 15.
We have students, complete newbies, go from $0 to $70,000 in 7 days. We have clients that fail.
There's never been a year since I graduated from college that I didn't make 6 figures.
I mean, I've made over $10 million in a year sitting, basically, my wife has a joke telling people that he makes $10 million a year sitting in his underwear. Imagine if he put on pants.
When I first started, my dream was $10,000 a month. If I could just make $10,000 a month, you know, I would make more than my teachers or something, you know what I mean? And I never did. I went from making none to my first real month online was $17,000, and then, you know, it grew pretty substantially after that.
I really think that the internet is still the Wild West when it comes to being able to carve out your own lifestyle.
I think it is entirely possible for someone with very little capital to start on the internet and make $40,000 a year within 3 to 4 months.
You know, if you just want to pay for a new car each month, that's pretty easy if you ask me.
We run a multiple 7-figure internet business. I have friends who run $25 million businesses all the way up to, you know, $1 billion e-commerce company.
Can someone become a millionaire on the internet very quickly? Absolutely, it happens all day long.
You know, I started making money in this business 5 years ago, and right now we've got 70 employees, and we'll do over $10 million this year. And that's getting rich quick, you know. But yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of foundation. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't like the pipe dreams that they try to sell you. It was work.
So we should probably stop right now, man, and talk about something pretty serious, because right now there's so many people that are out of work, they're desperate, they don't have a job, they can't pay their mortgage, they want to feed their family, and they're looking for that solution. And there's so many scam artists right now just offering some kind of get-rich-quick scheme. And every person we talked to in the internet marketing space said the same thing over and over again, and I know that's what worked for me, which was you got to take the information, you got to put massive action behind it, you got to do it over and over again, and you are going to fail sometimes. But when you get up and keep taking step after step forward, that's really the true formula for success. There is no easy button.
Making any kind of large sums of money in life is going to take effort and hard work. I work between 80 and 105 hours a week. Well, you want a $24 million a year company? That's what you got to do.
My most successful internet marketing friends work their asses off.
For anyone looking to get into this fresh, like right away, I would say be very careful, because it's extremely attractive when you hear, hey, I made $10 million a year in my underwear, you know, blah, blah. Well, it's a lot of work.
I've never told anyone that the internet is the quick way to make money.
Nowadays, I think you actually got to work. I don't think it's get rich quick anymore like it used to be.
There's this perception somewhere that just because you put a site out on the internet that all of a sudden money's going to shoot out of your CD-ROM drive, and that's just not true. It does take time and it takes dedication.
I definitely did put in my time so I can enjoy the lifestyle that I have now.
What you don't hear about is that, you know, I put 12 hours a day into a website. Most of the time I was working an 8-hour-a-day job and working on it at that job a little bit, but, you know, and then coming home and working on that 4 to 6 hours, you know, getting 3 hours nights of sleep. You know, you don't hear those stories of it. It's a lot of work, and don't be fooled by that.
Some people get in this business, they say, I'm going to get in this business because I don't want to have to work anymore. Look, if you don't want to have to work, go get a job parking cars. A buddy of mine said, you know what, fuck it, I'm out. I'm just going to park cars. He was never an internet guy. He just didn't want to have to really do anything. He parks cars. He's the happiest guy I know. He parks cars and plays rock music. Genius. If you don't want to work, go park cars. You know, but if you want to work and you're willing to do it and you want to have fun and be richly rewarded, then it's a really good industry to be in.
Okay, so I think we should warn people about one more thing.
Yeah, I know you and I learned this lesson, and most people end up learning it the hard way. I mean, you can sit here and ask all day long, how much do internet marketers make? But
that's probably a different question than how much do they keep.
A lot of these guys didn't come from a corporate background. They didn't come from a traditional business background, so they don't know how to build businesses. And once they do achieve their wealth, they don't know how to keep it.
Unfortunately, a lot of internet marketers are like massively successful with sales, but terrible at actually keeping or retaining any of those earnings. So it's kind of like one sales individual that has a big team and a great mode of selling, but it's like big one day, broke the next.
So we should probably talk about how these guys make their money, and the first thing is identifying your niche.
Why don't you tell me what a niche is?
Well, a niche is your point of focus. It's your market selection. Like you and I sell make money products to the fitness industry. A niche could be a passion, a hobby. It's basically that one thing that you hone in on.
Hey, remember all those wild and crazy niches out there?
Yeah.
The craziest niche I've ever heard people make money online would probably be women selling their used underwear.
The weirdest internet niche that I've ever heard of.
Edible and medicinal plants.
Head lice treatments.
An ebook on how to teach your hamster jump through a hoop.
Wizardry related things, you know, custom swords.
How to cast voodoo spells.
Look at Joel Comm, makes the iFart application for the freaking iPhone.
I've seen people selling things about teaching parrots to talk, which I would never think of selling.
Hamster beds.
Horse ballet. Thumbs up, you know, teaching horses how to do ballet.
Saw a guy online selling actual garbage, and I bought some. And this is a man, he was proudly selling garbage collected in New York City, packaged in small plastic cubes and sold as art. And I was like, you know what? I'm giving you the money. Good for you, you big bald motherfucker. I hope you make $1 billion, you know?
So once a lot of these guys have their niche, what they do next is figure out what to sell to that niche, figure out how to solve a problem that that niche might have. And it seems like a lot of these guys are doing it through like information products, manuals, courses, ebooks, membership sites, which is a really cool way to deliver information, and they can package that information and get premium prices for it. It's pretty crazy, man.
So information products are simply products that deliver information.
Information products are books, audios, videos, checklists, how-tos, any of that.
One of the first things I ever made was actually teaching people how to put dreadlocks in their hair.
And it can come in various forms like videos or PDFs or printed books or, you know, any combination thereof.
I've seen guys make $1 million business out of selling how to knit. They don't knit themselves. They just find a lady who can knit and teach them how to do it.
There's a lady that I know who has a membership site for stay-at-home moms. She tells these busy moms, look, cook this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, this on Thursday, and makes about $5-6 grand a month. I mean, that's good money for a stay-at-home mom doing what she's doing anyway, cooking for her family.
I have a dorky website called How to Make a Potato Gun. You may think, who in the world would pay me for information on how to make a potato gun? And yeah, in my hometown, there may be 2 guys that might ever buy it, but you take my city and every city in America and every city around the world, and if one guy from every city buys my products, that's $1 million a year business.
This guy, he was a former youth pastor, and what he does is he creates Sundays, turnkey Sunday school lessons for other youth ministers. And he's got like 10,000 youth ministers paying him $10-20 a month. He's doing the work for them, but he only has to do the work once and he gets to sell it multiple times. So the leverage is gigantic.
This one guy who's a customer, client of mine, he was selling out of his dorm room in college. He was selling a CD teaching people how to take an engine out of a Honda Accord, put it into a Honda Civic. And his mom accused him of selling drugs because he was doing so well that he had all this money all the time, and then he dropped out of college, so I was proud of that.
You can literally take your brain to the bank with information products.
Remember that Jason Moffat guy? Like total type B, slacker, surfer, hippie kind of guy, cruises around in his RV, makes lots of money, has the kind of lifestyle he wants, doing what he wants when he wants, and he like accidentally fell into this whole internet marketing thing.
Jason Moffat's smarter than most of the marketers I know who are the top quote-unquote gurus.
And Jason says, I'm not about money, I'm about lifestyle, I'm about providing value.
He really doesn't care, you know, if everybody knows who he is.
He'll never get involved in anything that he knows isn't going to provide value and be able to give him the lifestyle that he wants. Real good guy.
I actually got into info marketing out of pure necessity. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was homeless in Oregon. I had $17 in a camcorder, and I knew some magic tricks. So I basically just filmed myself doing magic tricks, dubbed those off onto VHS tapes, you know, had 2 VCRs, and I would just put all those tapes in my backpack, go from bar to bar to bar, and selling those magic tapes for up to $100 a pop. And I quickly realized, wow, you know, like I have this info product here, and then realized I could sell other things that I had talent in, and quickly just started taking everything that I was really good at and learning, putting it into info products, and then started researching on the internet different marketers, and came across guys like Dan Kennedy. And inside, I was actually a private eye. Like, I think I did the info products for a while, and then I became a private eye. And while I was a private eye, I was making good money, maybe 30 bucks an hour. But I would read these Dan Kennedy and John Carlton books and Gary Halbert letters, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm going to sit in this van forever. So as I'm spying on people for these insurance companies, I'm just plowing through this marketing material, just going, oh my gosh, I'm going to be filthy rich from all this. It was real simple to me. I mean, it was basically, you know, just find something of extreme value that can benefit other people and just go out and sell the shit out of that.
So we've been talking about information products, but a lot of people probably don't know how to create one of these information products. It was really cool to see how easily Perry Belcher took his existing hot dog cart business and turned it into an information business.
Perry Belcher is got some of the most amazing hustling tactics that I've ever heard.
Perry Belcher could sell you a do-it-yourself kit on how to eat rocks. And not only would you buy the kit and eat the rocks, you'd go back to the guy and say, do you have another, you have another one of these rock kits? Because you'd have chewed all your teeth off with the rocks. He's that good. He's unbelievable.
Crazy cat, entertaining as heck. Perry's a really great guy with a lot of personality.
I don't think I've ever met a man that's made me laugh more than Perry Belcher.
He's like one of these guys that just breathes life into our business. And he's learned the hard way. I mean, he's had his struggles.
He's like the E.F. Hutton of internet marketing. When Perry Belcher speaks, you listen.
He's got, I think, like 100,000 followers on Twitter.
I'll sit down with Perry and I'll instantly just run to my office and just start implementing changes because of the things that come out of his mouth.
I think he's like one of these giant personalities in our business, and I just love being around him, and he's a kind of a big old cuddly bear.
Many years ago, I started a hot dog cart business and made a lot of money in a hot dog cart business in Florida forever ago. Well, when I started getting to know people in the information business, I'm like, they said, well, you need to make an information product. So we sat down right then. I said, hell, let's do it. So we sat down on a piece of paper. I wrote out about 20 points, and I said, here, ask me these questions. I'm going to go in my bedroom, call me on my cell phone. Let's get a bridge line and record a call. So the call went almost 3 hours. He asked me a question, and we just talked our brains out. And we're having a good time, so he left. I took a voice recorder and sent it off to the transcriber. And by Monday, this was on Friday, by Monday, the sales order was back from the transcriber. I tweaked it up a little bit, we posted it. That was 4.5 years ago. And I would guess that we've probably sold at least $1 million worth of that course.
So like when I first got into info marketing, I was kind of trying to figure out why I should maybe sell information products versus something I could just sell at the store, and then I figured out why.
There's no overhead, so it mostly all goes to profit. If you're affiliate marketing, it's all profit. If you're information products, it's all profit.
So that's really what I like to sell. I mean, we do sell plasma TVs and digital cameras and things like that, but you're lucky if you get 2, maybe 5% profit margins on those items, and you still have to ship it, you still have to have a warehouse department. But with information products, they're pure profit, and you can just push a button, deliver it automatically via the internet. The software handles all of it, and then the money just comes in. So I like to sell information products or consulting online.
So social media is a really hot topic these days. And a lot of people are saying that it's a great way to connect with the audience, to network with people, and to create a fan base.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Then there's those people who are saying like it's really just a big distraction and they really haven't found a way to make money on social media.
I think people get a little into trouble when they're looking to like monetize social media. It's just not something I'm a huge fan of.
Everyone always wants to know, how do you make money in social media? And it's the same way you make money offline, is you get people to know, love, and trust you. Once you have that foundation, the relationship's built and your business is built.
Community gets thrown around so easy now. You know what most people think community is? How many Twitter followers they have. It's horseshit.
The biggest mistake that people make when trying to monetize social media is thinking they need to get out there and make a bunch of friends.
And most people waste their time trying to get 50,000 Twitter followers when 1,000 dedicated ones would be much more impactful.
But I think one of the best tools for using social media is to listen. And as a business owner, a lot of times it's so easy to put out a product or put out a service because we think it's good. But in social media, you can get in the trenches. You can actually find out. It's like a real life survey.
For us, what we do in our company is the internet is our foundation for building happy clients, getting feedback from our clients, getting our clients to communicate with each other.
The only way to get better is to subject what it is that you're doing to the wisdom of the crowds, to let the crowds have a vote, to let them engage and say, we like this, we don't like this, and you'll know because you'll get the emails, you'll get the blog posts, the comments, you'll get the sales, or you won't.
One company that I really look up to a lot is how Zappos does social media, and I believe a lot of their customer service comes through that. And so where a lot of companies will like take a problem that they would have and kind of hide it, they use those problems to satisfy the customer and then kind of show that off.
It's not necessarily about how many numbers you have in social media, but it's about who feels like you know them. And my audience, my number one asset with my audience is not that they love me, but it's that they know I'm crazy about them, and that I can communicate very powerfully and very real through social media.
Your customers, your B2B clients, your family of employees, that community, that's the game. And caring for that component is the key. It's caring about your community that's important. Not having community because you want them to retweet a link so that you can sell some shit.
A lot of people these days start out online with a blog. I mean, that's what I did. I blogged for like 6 months without making any money, but launched a whole business from that. One guy's blog I'm really impressed with, and he's gotten him on TV, he's gotten him book deals, is Christian Lander. Remember that guy?
Yeah, he's got that blog, Stuff White People Like.
January 2008, I was working as a copywriter down the street at an ad agency. And you know, I didn't hate my life at all, it was fine. And I started a blog with a friend of mine as a joke called Stuff White People Like. And I was writing really just to entertain him and maybe 2 or 3 of my friends. And that's what I thought was gonna happen. The thing completely took off in a couple weeks. So I started on January 18th. By the middle of February, the site had ballooned, hundreds of thousands of hits a day. Feature-length stories in the LA Times, New York Times, interviews on NPR, all sorts of interviews in press, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. By the end of that month, I had a literary agent, and then by the end of March 08, I had a book deal in place. And the book was published July 1st, and New York Times bestseller on July 14th, 2008. So in 6 months, I went from a copywriter to literally living my dreams. I think the blog got popular because of, I'm still trying to figure out the reason why. There's so much luck involved. I think part of the reason for the popularity was really great comedy comes from truth. And in this blog, I was making fun of myself mercilessly. I was making fun of how pretentious I am and how ridiculous I am about, books and indie music and organic food and all this sort of stuff. So I was really making fun of myself. And I think that truth really connected with a lot of people. And what that did was they would read it, they would relate to it, and it had that magic sauce, whatever it is, that made someone say, you know what, I have to forward this on to somebody else. I have to share this with someone else. And I can't put my finger on it exactly what it is that does that, whether it's the jokes, the comedy, the truth, the accuracy, the format, whether it was because it was a list or what. But whatever that magic thing was, it made people say, this is great, I have to share this with somebody else. And they forwarded it along. And I think that's what it was.
Another blogger who really impresses me is Tucker Max. I mean, he had that blog that became a book, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, that a ton of like 20-year-old dudes read and loved, guys who don't read books, became a national bestseller, like the top of the national bestseller list, and then actually became a movie.
That guy's a really smart cat.
My book is a New York Times bestseller, never came close to topping him on the list, ever.
This guy should write another book that should be a manual on how to get away with everything and then have people think you're awesome for it. Great.
Some people love him, some people hate him, but you can't argue
He's used the internet and his writing ability to create something really, really special.
I was just on nominated to Time's 100 Most Influential list because of the fucking book. Like, you know, because so many college kids have read this book and it's become so so ubiquitous on college campuses. Pre-99, media distribution of any media, book, newspaper, TV, whatever, video, print, song, all distribution went through a limited number of channels. There were gatekeepers, you know, Viacom, BMI or BMG, CBS, whoever, all the media conglomerates you know decided what people saw and didn't see. And the internet essentially eliminated the transaction cost of information, so now I can connect to all my fans directly. I don't need someone to give me permission. I don't need someone to put money up front. I don't need someone to invest resources into me. And most importantly, I don't need, like I said, I don't need anyone else's permission. I can just fucking do it. And if it's good, then I don't, you know, it's all me. And so, when I first started writing, I went traditional channels. I sent every fucking publisher, every agent, everything, no response, nothing. So 20 years ago, dead in the water. I go nowhere. Even though inside of me, I had a book that was gonna be a massive, massive bestseller, it would never have been published. 99, 2002, it's a different world. I can put up a blog and I can fucking put my shit out there to the world. And I did. And people loved it. And because I had such a big following, book publishers came to me. And because my book did so well, movies and TV, Hollywood came to me. I was able to control my art. So to say the question, what role does my blog play in my success, is the wrong question. The question is, would I have any success without the blog? No. Like, the blog is the foundation for all of it, because that's how anyone ever heard of me to begin with.
I learned a lot from talking to these guys about all the different reasons that people actually fail online. And it's funny, the first one is one that most people would never think of. It's the not being willing to make mistakes. And I know I've had that problem myself, and once I became willing to make mistakes and actually had some failures, that's when I started to achieve some success. So it seems that one of the first reasons these guys are saying that a lot of people don't succeed is they simply aren't willing to fail.
Exactly right.
Reason number 10, they're afraid to fail.
The people that have the most success are the people that overcome failure.
I am so not capable to think about them. It's unbelievable to me. It is why I win, in my opinion.
There's nothing wrong with failing. You know how many times I failed? Holy shit, I've made $100,000 mistakes.
Well, most internet marketers know failure is the key to success. We fail, and we fail fast, and we fail often.
I'm one of those overnight success stories who failed like 30 times before he got there.
You know, I mean, imagine it's like dating or something, you know? Like, imagine, you know you're gonna have to go through X amount of people before you find Mr. or Mrs. Right. It's just normal. So most people get paralyzed and they meet one person or something and that's not Mr. or Mrs. Right, and then they never date again. Like, no one would do that in their right mind, you know? Like, our population wouldn't expand. But when it comes to business, online and otherwise, for some reason people don't want to understand that that's just going to happen. That's just the way it is. And the faster you can get up and get back in the ring, the faster you'll be successful, but you will get beat up in the ring.
You know, failures are left for real shit, not business. Failures left for, you know, not spending enough time with your family.
Reason number 9, they suffer from information overload.
There's so much stuff out there, and instead of taking action, they just keep learning, and they want to know everything before they want to try anything.
You need to be able to say, fuck it, man. I don't care where it's hosted. I don't care what platform it's using. Just build a damn website that says this. So if you have the ability to write a sales letter on a piece of notebook paper and then hand it to the kid that builds a website and say, see that headline, I want it bold, and then I want some pictures here, you're good. That's about all the technical savvy that you need.
It's a lot better to try to do something and fail than overstudy and be paralyzed. You know, overanalysis causes paralysis.
Reason number 8, they give up too soon.
You know, one of the most really heartbreaking things is some really smart people with some great ideas and a passion for doing things, if they don't see it happen within 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, because that's the guarantee period on the product that they just bought, they think that it doesn't work.
I think that people give up too soon because they don't see results too soon and they don't realize that this is a long-term business.
You've got to quit buying all the instant solutions, follow a proven method until it works.
And I know the only difference between me and anybody else is that I've been doing this for 9 years, and you hang around long enough, you do enough things, you're going to get some stuff right. Right? It's the law of averages.
The biggest factor to my success online is that I just keep going.
In my career, I've only ever released 3 products in 9 years. The very first ebook I ever did about e-commerce, stomping the search engines about SEO, and StomperNet. And you know, when you focus that long on just a couple of things, eventually something good will happen.
Reason number 7, they don't have passion.
You have to be passionate about what you're doing, absolutely.
If you don't love it, it's not going to work.
If someone can get in the mindset, they can do anything they want.
You have to have that strong enough reason why this is important, what you're ultimately committed to, so no matter what's going to get in the way, because stuff is going to get in the way.
Once the hard work kicks in, that's the difference between people that are successful and not.
At the end of the day, when it's just you and your computer and you and the information, you have to show up with personal leadership. You have to have the motivation. Because there ain't no such thing as a motivation truck that's going to come, pull up in your yard, back up, and just dump some motivation on you. That is a personal responsibility. You have to bring that to the game. And if you don't bring it, if you don't bring that want to, then you're never going to develop the tangible how to. So it's just going to be this dream. And what's going to happen is your life is going to just be one that is just wrangled with frustration.
Reason number 6, they take shortcuts or they're lazy.
A lot of people go in there and they want the shortcuts. So if we give them 38 hours worth of training material and say, study this 38 hours of training material and then use this piece of software, they will always jump 9 times out of 10 to the piece of software because they want the cool tool. They want to hit the easy button. They want something that's going to happen for them right away. When reality is the first 30 hours of training material that we tell them to train is probably the most important thing. So the people who fail are always looking for the quick fixes, the quick, what can I make money with immediately? But to make real money, you have to understand the fundamentals and learn the marketing part of it.
Reason number 5, they picked the wrong market.
They have a if we build it, they'll come mentality. I mean, you got to go find a market first.
There's no better place to find out what people are buying en masse than Amazon.com. Go there, they have tons of categories. Go into any category, click on bestsellers. Guess what you're going to find out? What is selling best at Amazon?
You know, you can go to Word Tracker and say, how many people are looking for hot dog carts a day? 454. Oh, well, there's probably a market there, you know? How many people are looking for tea carts? Well, 9. Well, there's probably not much of a market there. You know what I mean?
But at the end of the day, we have to sell what people are buying. That's it. You may have a great idea. It may be an exciting idea. But if people aren't buying it, forget about it.
Reason number 4, they market the wrong idea.
The biggest reasons people fail online is that they spend too much time doing one thing that's just doomed and they don't know.
They'll be like, hey, I have a great idea. I think I'm going to make a business out of it. And sort of like, you know what? It's a dumb idea or it should just be a hobby. You're not going to make money at it because there isn't a market. Most of these people have already got tunnel vision on this one idea and they've 100% sold out to that one idea. And if it doesn't work, then the internet failed them, entrepreneurship failed them, everything failed them because their one idea didn't work. I've had more ideas not work than I have ideas that did work.
Don't fall in love with your stuff. Try a lot of things and see where you got a pulse.
And I found in this business, it's about throwing crap against the wall and seeing what sticks. So the people who come into this with, I got my one idea and I want to put it online and make $1 million, they're the ones who wind up getting hurt.
Reason number 3, they get distracted.
The biggest challenges to being successful online are time management. It's really easy to get distracted surfing the internet. I mean, hours just literally melt away when you're surfing the web.
You could find yourself trying to be an internet marketer, and next thing you know, a good portion of your life is wasted screen sucking, looking at completely useless stuff.
I learned a long time ago that you can kid yourself into thinking that you're working when you're answering email. So I only answer email once an hour. There'll be a couple hours where I just shut the damn thing off.
Well, I have some clients where they're buying every new product that comes out and they're answering emails all day and they're texting all day. And they say, well, I can't get anything done. Well, no kidding. you're letting somebody else steal your time.
You got to self-police because so many of my buddies and I work out of the house. It's well, let's see what's in the fridge. Let's is there anything on TV?
You've got to cut that halo out. You got to get rid of that Madden.
I don't watch the TV. I turned that thing off a long, long time ago. Some people say, hey, did you see what happened? And I go, no. They go, well, don't you watch the TV? Did you see what happened in the Lakers game? No. You know why? Because it's not making me any money. How is me watching TV and watching the Lakers game going to move me ahead of my life? It's not. Absolutely not going to. It's not going to move you ahead either.
Reason number 2, they get cocky.
The biggest mistake is becoming arrogant and thinking that you know everything, because once you have a little bit of success, especially when you're really young, a lot of internet marketers, you know, they'll have a big home run right out of the park, and then all of a sudden they get cocky and they think they know everything, and then they gamble huge sums of money on some bird brain idea that they think is going to be a big winner, and they lose everything. So part of it is never letting your ego go to your head, never believing you're as good as your own PR, and basically always having a beginner's mind. You know, a beginner's mind is a martial arts term where, you know, you want to just go into something not thinking you know it all, and it allows you to really, I think, function and operate and have more successes with that type of mindset.
Ready for number 1? They buy the product and never do anything with it.
One of the most interesting things is that of the stuff that's sold on the internet, only a small percentage of it ever gets used.
Because some people get this sense of satisfaction after having attended the event, or having made the order from the infomercial, or having the box show up.
I'm gonna go, buy it, here's my credit card info, done. Product's gonna come in the mail. Awesome. Woo! New life begins today, baby, because I just bought that.
And a lot of people never even open the box, never cracked the book.
I know that there's a lot of people who bought my products, and they are still in the shrink wrap holding their door open.
There was a guy selling how to make money tapes through an infomercial, and they found out that they'd been sending out blank videotapes for 6 months, but their return rate, the refund rate, hadn't changed. So what it turned out was that the only people who were returning the videos before were the people that were opening it up and watching it,
the 5%.
and that everyone who opened it and watched it was sending it back to get their money back. Yes, but the other people, they just sat on the shelf.
It's just part of the game. People are just not going to do stuff, and you know, you have to worry about the 5% who do. And you know, and let's face it, the 95% who don't keep most of these marketers afloat.
Like you and I both know, man, and most people in this movie talk about, when it comes to being successful online, it all really comes down to being able to make the sale.
Nothing can replace really good salesmanship and marketing.
One of the keys to sales is you first have to sell yourself. If you haven't sold yourself, you can't sell somebody else. And in selling yourself, this is the key. What you've got is of such incredible value that if you fail to make the sale, you've done the prospect a major disservice, because they needed it and it would have helped them and given them what they want, and you failed to communicate in such a way that you did that. Once you've got that attitude, and once you bring that to the sales situation, then you're going to be successful as a sale. So it all starts here.
If you can sell something, you're set forever. You know, if you have that ability, you know you have to be good. 90% of being able to sell something is being able to put up with the no. You know, if you can just say, no, okay, good, thank you, bye, and then keep going to the next one, you're fine.
You know what, you're right. And that important component to really know about is the psychology of selling, the reasons why people buy.
It's never about the technology, it's about the psychology.
There's the psychology of the consumer that you have to be aware of.
People buy things for one of two reasons, either to get something they want or to avoid something they don't want.
At the end of the day, people always want something that's going to help them to increase something. Maybe they want to increase their energy, they want to increase their speed, or whatever, or they want to increase how much money they're making, or decrease something. They want to decrease stress, or they want to decrease body fat, or whatever the case may be.
Half the clients or more are there because they didn't like what they had. They want to avoid something, they want to move away from something, and by understanding where the client's coming from, then you can tailor your approach to the client.
And what you want to do is you just want to map out the value that you provide to people and what areas that are important to them, can you help them to increase something? And in what areas that are important to them where they want less of, can you help them to decrease something? And the moment you have that, you literally have a map to wealth.
So this one seemed pretty obvious to me, but I guess some people still miss it. If you're gonna sell something online, you gotta go where the traffic is.
I know, like in the hot dog cart business, for instance, 80% of my business comes from New York, Florida, and California. So I don't waste money advertising a penny in Arizona.
You can put up a lemonade stand in the Antarctica. If there's no traffic, you're not going to sell any lemonade. But if you take the lemonade stand and stick that, let's say, on the beach in Miami, you're going to have a lot of traffic. The same thing with the internet.
Most marketers go, well, yeah, I don't get as many sales from Arizona, and I don't really positive ROI, so I'm just not going to spend as much money in Arizona. Duh. Don't spend any money in Arizona. You got to be a special kind of stupid.
So these guys say it over and over again in the movie, that if you want to sell a lot of stuff online, you've got to get really good at writing compelling sales copy.
Great sales copy is absolutely the most fundamental foundation that you need for any kind of marketing.
Learn how to write, copywriting, understand how to speak to someone and appreciate, enjoy, and learn empathy.
Look, men are moved to deeds through words. And I always feel that I should choose my words as carefully as possible when I'm speaking, when I'm writing, when I'm trying to convey a message.
You know, if you learn how to sell, I mean, you give me a notepad and a pencil, and I'll write a damn sales letter and hand it out on the street corner, and I'll have 10,000 bucks by tomorrow.
Because you're always selling, whether you're realized or not, whether you're trying to convince your wife to go to a certain restaurant or a movie, or get your 6-year-old to stop writing on the walls. It's all negotiation, and it's all sales, and you're trying to move people to your point of view, obviously.
John Carlton, profound effect on my life, one of the best living copywriters. And it's funny how famous he is for this story about how he came up with a hook for an instructional golf video.
One headline that I wrote that has resonated a lot with a lot of the people who use my stuff as a springboard for writing their own stuff is what I call a good example of the hook. And I came up with the idea of the hook when I was looking to sell something in a very crowded market that didn't seem to have anything going for it on its own. And this was a golf instructional video back then. This is even pre-DVD. And what happened was I started interviewing what we call the talent, the guy who was on the video saying, here's how you do this swing, and you'll drive the ball farther and straighter and all of that. And I started talking to him, and I was looking for something to tell a story about. And 45 minutes into the conversation, this guy was not talking. Finally, he came up with the story, and it was the story about he had been golfing behind a foursome which had one golfer which only had one leg. And he said while he was watching that one-legged golfer stand up and tee off the ball, he had an epiphany about how he, as a two-legged golfer, could actually improve his stance, and he did it, and he started working on it, and then he learned he could teach other people how to do this, and it changed, he came up with this thing called the triple coil swing, I think. So I knew I had my hook right then, and I put it into the headline. The headline was, if I can recall this correctly, the amazing secret discovered by a one-legged golfer that can increase your drives and eliminate hooks and slices literally overnight. And the hook got people into the story and got into it, and that ad ran off and on offline for about 10 years in the mail and in print, and segued quite nicely onto the web.
One powerful way to get your sales message across is to use video.
We know that people's eyes jump all over the place when they're looking at a web page. But the minute that you give them a video, all of their eye motions settle down and they focus on that one screen.
Nobody wants to read. So video is just powerful. I mean, television as a medium is proof of that.
It's communication, it's storytelling. It's having a platform. It's like saying, did television help Oprah make a lot of money? It sure did.
The good thing about video is it enables you to grow the cult following a lot faster.
I think it gives people an ease, a comfort with spending with you when they feel like they can see you.
There's this weird thing that happens when people get on video that postures that person as an expert. So I think, you know, YouTube is the opportunity today that TV was for Oprah when she first got started, but she had to do it the hard way.
People definitely buy from people that they know, like, and trust, and when you use video, you're able to let people really see into your persona, into your soul, into your real true being, and you're able to use your physiology and your actual body movements to really engage with people.
And you know, we've tested it. We've tried, you know, your common sales letter that's just a bunch of text. It talks about the product and the benefits, and then get rid of that, replace the thing with a video, exact same copy, but just have somebody sit in front of the camera and read the exact same thing. And they can even just do it in monotone, not even look up at the camera, and we get twice as many conversions.
One guy I really enjoyed interviewing was Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, of Wine Library TV. You'd expect like a wine guy to be all proper and snooty, and he wasn't, man. He swears left and right. He's in your face. He's ADD. He's aggressive, but he really connects with his audience. And he just does these one-take videos where he talks about wine and he tells you the real deal about how he feels about it. And his wine business, I think it does like $60 million a year.
Gary is the wine dude.
I mean, I hated wine, but because of that dude, I actually went out and tasted wine.
Gary Vaynerchuk is an extremely emotional guy.
Gary Vaynerchuk is a madman.
He's a massive personality, pure intensity.
You watch the guy, and whatever the hell he's saying, you want to do it just because of him.
Compelling, awesome, brilliant guy.
And very, very inspirational.
Wine Library TV is a 5-day-a-week wine video blog where I pretty much break down wine in a microscope of the way I view business and life, right? It's real, it's authentic. If the wine sucks and we have tons of it, it sucks. I don't care. And that's made it a very popular show because people know once they figure out my palate compared to their palate, they can use me as a gauge because I'm going right down the line every time. No emotion for the winemakers are my friends, I don't care. My responsibility is to everybody. The massive following of people. Having a massive following of people is two things, phenomenal and ridiculously humbling. People are always like, when did you know you made it? What was the tipping point? When did you know? Day one. Sam watched it and left a comment and said it was awesome. I was in. Having 5 Twitter followers, awesome. Like 5 people give a crap enough to hear what comes out of my mouth. It's like, if I had one fan, one person that followed me on Twitter, one, and believed in me to the nth degree, I could beat all of you. You know who that one person is? Oprah. If Oprah gave a shit and was my only follower and said I was the shit, I could dominate everybody else because she put me on her show, I'll crush it, and then I win. So people are just too caught up in numbers. You know, I'm pumped for the quality of the people that follow me, whether they're small or big time names.
So one thing these guys said that I thought was really interesting is you've got to know the best time to sell.
When somebody buys a product, they're rabid, hungry buyers. They want to buy again. The best time to sell somebody something is when they first buy something from you.
As soon as someone buys a product, that's the best time to offer them another product. Kind of like when you're at McDonald's and you order a Happy Meal and they're like, hey, do you want fries with that or do you want an ice cream cone with that? It's the best time to upsell.
You don't just buy one book on fitness. You buy 5 books. You don't just try one diet plan, you try 10 diet plans. The same thing applies to any information you sell online.
Basically, after somebody buys a product, we're upselling. Say, hey, you thought that was good? We've got this other thing. It's a little more expensive, you know, maybe $100 or $500. And we say, you know, we can add this to your order now. Just click add to cart and we'll add it to your order. And we usually get about 15 to 25, depending on the offer, percent of the people that will buy some of the upsells.
So one really good strategy that internet marketers use to make money over and over again is called the continuity model. It's where they sell once and get paid month after month after month.
Yeah, I mean, the continuity model is my favorite business model of all because of that very reason. Getting to make the sale once but get paid over and over again.
It's kind of like, I'm sure most people have heard of like Columbia House Music, where you pay a penny, you get a free CD, and then every month they ship you a CD, and you keep paying for those CDs until you want to cancel.
It takes just as much time and effort to sell a single product or service once as it does to get people to agree to be a member, like a gym, and get charged on their credit card every month.
We give away a free MP3 player, and we say, hey, With this MP3 player, you're gonna get 2 weeks of coaching for free video coaching. And then after that, if you like the video coaching, just don't do anything and we'll bill you $97 a month for the coaching. If you don't want the coaching anymore, call us up, send us an email, we'll cancel it, and you're done, and you can keep the MP3 player for free. And that's what continuity is. And that's where a lot of our income comes, is through different continuity programs. We have 2 or 3 continuity programs like that. But basically, continuity means you're getting paid every single month for something you did once.
One strategy that I really liked that made a lot of sense is called split testing. It's where you figure out what buy now buttons, what headline, what testimonials, even what color background will make you the most sales.
I'm a split test freaking freak fanatic. So I split test every aspect of my business constantly. And people don't have any idea how much that little crap matters. You can sometimes change the background color of a website and have a 30% bump overnight. All big businesses use split testing. All marketers that last in the business use split testing. If you don't split test, you don't last, period. But you're basically, what you're doing is saying, I'm gonna try A against B. So you basically, let's say I got 2 headlines, I don't know which one's gonna be best. So I put them both on a website and I get 100 visitors to go to the website. 50 of them go to, there's a little piece of software that switches, and basically 50 of the people go to A and 50 people go to B. And then you track the sales from A and B.
So you can literally put up a test for anything, and from Google AdWords with a couple hundred bucks, you can tell what's a better headline, what's going to bring them more, what's a better offer, and so you're able to test and figure out what works so much easier and so much less expensively online than you ever could offline.
You know, the milk is always in the back of the store, because the supermarket's tested. They know that if they put the milk in a certain position, you got to walk down 2.7 aisles to get to it, and your odds of picking up 4 items on the way. You see what I'm saying? Most people that go into business are just like retailers, dumb retailers that go broke. They just go in, they open a store, they throw in some shelves, and where do you want to set the turnips? So I'll set those over there, put the sweet potatoes over here, and put the milk at the front door. Okay? They don't think about it. They just think that there's no, that it doesn't matter. Nothing could be farther from the truth.
So one thing that helps a lot of the internet marketers get a whole bunch of happy people and then convert them into paying clients is actually a strategy called give before you get.
Good marketers, good direct response marketers on the internet give some of their best stuff away for free just so you can build a relationship with the people.
I had scared away everybody in my life. I'd done a lot of network marketing. Nobody wanted to hear from me at any point. But when I learned how to stop chasing people and started to putting value into the world and that people would actually come to you, it rocked my world, man.
My whole focus in my business has always been, you change enough people's lives, you're gonna make money from it. And so that's what I teach my clients. See, look, if you wanna make money on the internet, you gotta change people's lives and the money will come. It's not the other way around. It's not make a bunch of money and then I'll go help people. It's you go help people and you'll get money for it.
Making money is a direct, it's a derivative, it's a byproduct of value creation.
We can provide a little bit of value here, you're going to want to go to the next level. And you get some value here, you're going to want to go to the next level. And you're going to keep going up because that's the way that we are as humans. We like to get value, and if we get more value, we want more, and we want more.
And I'll tell you this, I built my business by giving away great content for free, because if you can make money with my free content, you're probably going to want to reward me and come do business with me, paying me to join my consulting division.
I know a lot of the people that are watching my stuff are stuck at work and they don't want to be there or whatever, or they're bored out of their minds. So if I can give them a little bit of happiness, let them have a little bit of fun, oftentimes just the sales come after that, and I've gotten pretty good at that. And so that's a pretty big secret.
So the #1 thing that's key to having longevity in your internet marketing career is your reputation online. You've got to be authentic. People have to be able to trust you.
The whole idea is to build a cult of personality online or even offline. You want to build a cult following, people that want to hear what you have to say, that will buy from you no matter what.
Honesty and transparency goes so far.
You can't be a jerk. You can't sell crap. You actually have to give a rip about your customers.
It's all about intention. If your intention is to screw them and just take their money and give them some shitty product, well then you know what, you deserve everything you get in life. But if you really care about the people that you're serving and you want to give a high quality product and you want them to succeed and you give them everything that they can to succeed, that's a whole different ball game.
So much of the old economy of pre-internet world was based, so much of marketing especially was based on tricking people, lying to people, deceiving people, convincing people they wanted something they didn't need, all that bullshit.
A lot of people are just liars, scammers, you know, thieves.
It's a minor miracle that we're able to get anybody to even trust us online with all the scams that are out there.
Well, the world has changed, and because the internet has created such a powerful, pervasive network among all people, you can't really lie anymore.
BSreports.com or scamreports.com will come in and expose you.
You can't cheat people anymore. You can't fake people anymore because the truth is going to find you much quicker than it used to.
I want to preserve my reputation, and you know, that's, as an internet marketer, that's all you have.
I know a few of the guys we talked to really learned this lesson the hard way. Absolutely brilliant guys, but it's pretty crazy to see just how badly they screwed up.
I've been, like I said, I've been in internet marketing 13 years, right? So I had 6 different businesses online. But one of my businesses was a dietary supplement business. And if you've ever heard people say, you know, oh, you better watch out for the health stuff, you can get in a lot of trouble for that. You know, here's a guy that kind of became the poster child for that. I got a call that my local sheriff had, the word was weird, raided my building. We had millions of dollars in equipment, 100 people working. It was a big company. And one day they brought TV crews and everything. It was a big publicity thing. They had received 37 consumer complaints out of 979,000 customers that we had over a 5-year period. And that spawned an investigation. So basically, I woke up one morning and I had about $3.5 million. And when I went to bed that night, I didn't have it no more. They seized it all and publicly humiliated me, and it was a big deal. And I paid the ultimate price for it. I lost everything.
My most notorious failure was when I was sued by the Federal Trade Commission for my very first product that I created myself called Instant Internet Empires. And man, I thought I was onto something. But apparently they did not think I was onto something at all, you know, and they said, well, Mr. Kern, this is a pyramid scheme. And I said, what exactly is a pyramid scheme? And they said, well, it looks conspicuously like this program of yours. You know, I said, oh man, what are we going to do? And they said, well, I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to send out this public message that says we have sued you and seized your assets, and then we're going to take all your money. What do you have to say about that? And I said, well, okay. What else are you going to say? I was like, all right, sorry. You know, so that was a pretty significant failure. That was very embarrassing. I wouldn't trade it for anything, though. You know, I learned a lot from that process, and certainly would never want to repeat it. Wouldn't want to go through it again, but wouldn't take it back for all the money in the world.
I want to make sure that nobody can ever say ever again, as long as I live, that, you know, Perry sold me this thing and it was no good, you know.
So these guys, they go out, they get all these customers, they sell all these products, they build this huge following online. It's like they're internet celebrities.
So if we become internet celebrities, will we be in People magazine?
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I'm an internet celebrity. I mean, look, that's not exactly a thing to be proud of.
It's a funny version of fame.
People don't get out of the way for you when you go grocery shopping.
I don't think TMZ cares where I am.
If somebody hit me with a car right now, they wouldn't freak out because they hit a celebrity.
Being internet famous is literally the lowest level of fame that you can achieve. Like, serial killers have better fame levels than internet famous people.
And I'm pretty cool with that. You know, I get to be me, and the only time it ever gets weird is when I go to a high school reunion and they see that I'm somebody on Facebook.
You know, I was at church Sunday, and I met a guy sitting in front of me at church. I said, hey, I'm Perry Belcher. He says, yeah, I know who you are. I follow you on Twitter. Like, I had no idea who this person was.
I've got 14,000 Twitter followers, and I'm pretty sure that I could run over a couple of them with my car and not know that they were like a follower.
I like it. It's an ego thing. It feels good. And people send me crap.
Turkeys, steaks, TVs, iPods, iPhones, computers.
Love pizza delivery guys. Or the other day we had a sushi guy came in knocked on our door and had sushi for me.
I have been recognized a grand total of 6 times.
I've just started being recognized in airports recently.
I change my appearance pretty regularly, actually.
Yeah, I've been recognized in the water. You know, like the dude paddles up to me, like on multiple occasions. Hey man, are you that guy? I'm like, yeah. You're not a murderer, are you? No.
I was at the Grove. I come home, and someone had Twittered about seeing me in the Mac store in the Grove.
When I don't have a beard, I've been recognized for the guy from Entourage a couple of times. The little one. Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you have guys falling in the bathroom, they'll walk and they'll pretend like they're peeing next to you.
He followed me into the bathroom, parked himself at the urinal right next to me.
I'm trying to take a pee and they want to shake my hand and tell me about their great business idea while I'm whizzing, you know.
I kind of got this rule that like while I'm, you know, holding myself, I don't talk to people.
I had a guy walk in and he didn't pretend, like he just stood behind me and kept talking, and that was the most awkward because I'm like, at least fake it, at least you know, act like you know, you're trying to, anyway.
They're like, oh man, you're really cool. I'm like, I'm not really, I just have a good video guy who makes me look cool, but I'm not, I mean, look at me, you're sitting here right now, I'm just a dude on the couch, you know?
So now we should talk about someone who's really an internet celebrity. You know, the guy that we worked so hard for like a year to get.
Frank Kern, man, really glad we got him too. Total representation of freedom to the overworked, underpaid, middle-aged man.
That's him.
Do you expect me to sum up my opinion of Frank Kern in 15 seconds?
Probably the coolest person on the planet.
A legend, for sure.
Frank Kern is one of these brilliant, evil genius marketers.
He's a genius.
He knows what makes people tick.
Frank Kern has long hair, he has a beard, he looks like the Messiah.
The cult of personality applies to Frank Kern times a factor of 10.
People want to be like Frank. People want to be around Frank.
He definitely has enormous amounts of charisma.
I don't know how in the world he does it, but he just hangs out and surfs and makes 10 times more money than I do with all 70 of my employees here.
I have him to credit for supercharging my career.
He was one of the guys that helped out on our original launch of StomperNet.
Which turned out to be a 7-figure launch in 12 hours.
I personally took his mass control course, followed it to the letter, and did a $3 million launch of listbuilding.com last year as a result of his course.
He's really laid back, he's a cool surfer dude.
And one of the most sincere, honest, and genuine people that you'd ever meet in your life.
I've never met a person more real. F-word is automatically embedded with Frank.
Frank's got a mouth like a trucker, and I love it. It makes me laugh.
He just kind of does his thing, and I think everybody respects him for that.
He's like family to me.
Like everybody else, I love him.
Everybody loves Frank Kern, but he's also one hell of a nice guy, and he's a good friend.
The keys to being successful online are very, very simple. Actually, there are 2 commandments I have on how to be successful online. The first commandment is thou shalt not fuck around. The second commandment is thou shalt not be a pussy. And I'll explain. And really, I think if you obey these 2 commandments, then you'll be fine. So we'll start with thou shalt not fuck around. Most people spend a lot of time reading forums, you know, buying products and never do anything. They're fucking around, you know. I'll survey customers in my business. I've surveyed customers in clients' business that are in the same industry, and we'll say, well, how many of you have a website now? You know, and 70% of them say, I have no website, I have no business, I have no product, even though they've bought everything. All right, well, clearly they're fucking around because it says so right in every single thing they bought. Here's how you get a website. And furthermore, if you want to know how to build a website, go to YouTube. You know, if you don't fuck around, you'll be successful. Get to work. You know, the second of the commandments is thou shalt not be a pussy is this. They say, well, what if it doesn't work, you know? I'm perfectly willing to go into enormous debt to attend seminar after seminar after seminar and to buy product after product after product and get all of this education, but I'm terrified to spend $100 on a Google AdWords campaign to try to launch a product off the ground, to try to test a market and everything. They're just being pussies. You know, they're afraid of that failure. So if you can accept the truth that you're going to fail about 98% of the time, but the 2% of the time that you don't fail, you're probably going to hit these massive oil wells that can reward you for the rest of your life. You'll be okay. But if you're just going to be a little pussy about everything and not get to work and not get started and get that temporary like crack cocaine high from buying the product that makes you feel like you're doing something, and then that wears off and you buy the next thing. If you're going to do that instead of actually getting to work and doing something, then you're screwed. You know, so the secret to internet success is, you know, get to work, don't fuck around, don't be a pussy.
I remember sitting down with these guys and asking them, what do you feel was the most important thing in your success? And they almost all told us the same things. And one of the biggies was, you need to take action.
There's something called the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, and the majority of people who buy their stuff don't do anything with it, just out of, not because it's not a good product, out of being lazy.
The biggest reason why people succeed is definitely the guys who are just taking action.
One of the biggest things is just action.
Just action and do something.
Take action.
You have to take action. You have to work.
If you're the kind of guy that dabbles in it here and there and kind of goes slowly at it, you're not going to have success with it. Money follows speed. It's got to be the guy who stands up and says, taking action, I'm doing it right now, and then money's going to follow that type of person, that kind of personality.
And the next thing they said to us was to never, ever, ever give up.
Ever?
Never.
I've been doing this for about 9 years. And I've been exposed to thousands and thousands of people that have given it a go. And they've spent the money to learn. They've spent the money on the tools. They've created their websites. They've gotten their stores. They've bought traffic. And there's really only a couple of very, very specific things that the successful ones all do consistently. They never quit.
The keys to be successful online are perseverance.
You've just got to be a pig-headed fool. You know, you've got to be stubborn and pig-headed enough to keep on going.
Be willing to fail at something, because it's probably going to fail the first couple times. Be willing to fail and just keep trying until it works.
In the real world, they call it failure. In the marketing world, it's called testing. So you got to be prepared to test a lot of things and fail a lot of times. But it's when you actually make a big hit that that's when it becomes really super exciting.
So another one of the things these guys said to be successful was, you got to work with a mentor. You got to work with someone who's been there, who's done that, someone that you trust. You got to be an apprentice.
Yeah, ever since I've been in internet marketing, I've been doing that all the way back, and I keep doing it to have someone help me get to the next stage. And a lot of these guys do it as well. They go out and find someone who's done what they want to do and can show them how to do it.
If I had to do it over again, I would seek out other individuals who've been down the path that I wanted to go.
You want to emulate, like Tony Robbins always says, find somebody who's successful and emulate what it is that they're doing. I studied him in college, and that's the truth. You want to emulate somebody who's already successful.
I started hanging out with guys who were streetwise salesmen and learning what they did. And I didn't try to invent things from scratch. I tried to find out what other people knew worked, and I would apply that.
I'm on a lot of mailing lists, and that's something I would tell people to do, is get on a lot of mailing lists and actually study how they do what they do.
Go to seminars, go to networking, whatever it takes to find the kind of people you want to be like, because whoever you're hanging out with, that's who you're going to become like. And it's really true.
So something that I kept hearing from everyone over and over again was that you have to have a good, solid reason why you're doing this. And you know what? Ryan Dice actually gave a great reason why he got into internet marketing.
Okay, Ryan Dice is a brilliant guy.
Ryan Dice is a business genius.
I think Ryan is probably one of the most successful internet marketers that there is, and he's just getting smarter.
I buy anything he puts out.
I copy Ryan Dice. Don't let him see this, but I copy a lot of his stuff.
I think of him as one of the scientists in our business.
Ryan is probably one of the most honest and ethical marketers I've ever met.
Probably the best character of anybody I know.
Like, if I had kids, I would let them hang out with Ryan Dice all the time. That guy is so honest, so nice.
And a damn good friend.
My freshman year, I met a girl. And I really liked her, and she was really pretty, and by my junior year, I knew that I wanted to marry this girl. Actually, a month into my freshman year, I knew I wanted to marry her. By my junior year, I'd finally got up the courage to ask her, and I wanted to buy her a diamond engagement ring. I don't know if you've heard or not, those are pretty expensive. So I got a guy to give me a loan on a $10,000 ring at $250 a month. I found the perfect ring, $10,000, $250 a month is what he would finance it to me for. So I said then, if I can just figure out a way to make $250 a month on the internet, then I can buy this ring, get married, and go. And that was where I got my start. That was my first big goal. You know, I'm happy to report I make over $250 a month did then, was able to buy the engagement ring. We're now, I married that girl. She's now my wife. We got a few kids, and so, what still keeps, what's the thing that would still keep me motivated?
So the most important strategy that we took away from this is actually something that everybody should put into their business.
Yeah, and it's so damn simple. You just create win-win relationships by providing massive value to your customers.
We always want to operate with the highest degree of integrity.
Always tell the truth, number one. Always tell the absolute truth.
We build relationships. It's my real name, it's my real picture on my website, it's my real address that's on my website.
Forget about business. Caring about people is just the way it should be played.
A lot of people in marketing are transaction marketers. They look for the get-rich-quick thing because they want a big hit. And that's the difference between having a deal versus having a real business.
The money comes from people buying the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the 85th time from you.
I think it's imperative to understand the value of the human interaction when it comes to business and in life. It's what I think most people need to breathe.
I actually give a shit about the people I'm selling to.
None of us would be here if we didn't have customers who we worshiped.
If it doesn't work out for them, it really genuinely bothers me. And I think that comes through. I really do care about these guys.
I'm not selling, I'm serving. And I can serve them with what they need that's going to make their life and their business better, and it benefits me in the long run.
It is just so important to take really, really good care of people.
And that's, I think, the biggest common trait that the big internet marketing gurus have. The ones that stay in business long term and have a good reputation, is they care about taking care of the people first. And then we'll make money along the way.
Well, there it is. There's our little story about internet marketing, man. If someone out there was like me, who's sick of their day job, sick of the commute, sick of trading hours for dollars, barely getting by, living by someone else's values, here's a good option.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I had this information back then. It would have saved me so much time, effort, and money.
You know what would make us all worth it, dude? If one guy, just one guy, comes forward in like 5 years and says, you know what? I watched your movie about internet marketing 5 years ago. I hated my job. I was bummed out. My family was always mad at me. We were barely getting by. We lived in an area we didn't want to live in. The car was always breaking down. And I watched your movie, and I got into this whole internet marketing thing. And it was tough at first, and I made some mistakes, but I stuck to it. And now I own a successful online business. I'm helping people all over the world get what they want in life. I'm making the kind of money I want to make, and I'm doing what I'm passionate about. If that happens, that makes this whole thing worth it.
Yeah, to me, that's really what it's all about, man. So that my kids never have to see the inside of a daycare, and so that I'm the guy signing the front of the check and not the back of the check.
Yeah. What should someone take away from even watching this documentary about internet marketing? What they should really take away is that it's possible.
First off, this is possible.
Believe that it actually does work, because man, it does.
This is possible. You can make ridiculous amounts of money.
It's possible for the little guy to get rich. It's possible to go out and create a tremendous amounts of value and can and clone yourself using this giant replicatable tool called the internet.
It worked for me, it can work for you, and it's not some special gift I have. I promise you, if we hung out in the same room, about 5 minutes you would know that I'm not that smart, I'm not that good looking, but the reality is the system works. I worked at it and it worked.
If you get really good at internet marketing, really good at it, pick your business. Pick what you want to do. Go find a niche, a micro niche, a big niche, whatever you want to do, and you'll be successful at it.
All you have to do is get started. That's the biggest thing, folks. People fail because they never take action. So just take the action. Start with something simple. Don't worry about being perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect, believe me. If I had waited until I thought it was even good, I'd still be working, I don't know, 9 to 7, I guess, in a job.
Don't go through an entire life with ideas, thoughts, and visions and not taking the opportunity or taking the risk to see if they could be something real.
Everybody has a freaking $1 million idea in their head, at least one.
And then 2 years later, that idea or that concept, somebody else is making somebody else a lot of money.
Your ideas are a dime a dozen. It's about actually taking the action and moving towards that direction.
The difference between what we had yesterday and what we're going to have tomorrow is what we're going to do today.
Just get it out there. I don't care if it's the ugliest blog in the world. I don't care if it's the worst product in the world. I don't care if it's the worst report you ever put out. If you don't take the action to get started, you'll never get started.
The information is out there, the knowledge and the wisdom is out there. You just need to want it enough.
The great news is you can get an amazing education by just modeling the most successful people in the world. The great news is they're all together in this movie. Just get on their mailing list, study what they do what they do, don't reinvent the wheel, and you will be successful.
It's all right there for you. I mean, there's everything that pretty much any of us teach is nothing new. Actually, most of what we teach is just giving people the confidence to just do it themselves.
Henry Ford once said, whether you believe you can, whether you believe you can't, you're right.
You help enough other people get what they want, help them achieve their heart's desire, and then you will have everything that you've ever wanted.
Listen, guys, if you want to get in this internet marketing thing, take your vitamins, drink your beer, be good to everybody that you're around, and just really do what you love.
Always be yourself, deliver a shitload of value, more than you promised, and don't be an asshole, and you'll do fine.